everybody. Today is Monday. I am super excited to be with you guys again this week. So today I wanted to talk about product training and I wanted to talk about Melissa. So Melissa is one of those that I think doesn't always get a lot of recognition because it's kind of costly. Wouldn't you agree, Dena? Do you think that's kind of the case?
I think cost definitely has something to do with it. And also, it's just one of those oils that isn't very well known. In fact, I was talking to my good friend Marissa before the call, telling her, hey, we're going to be highlighting Melissa today. She said, oh, good. I really have no idea how to use Melissa, but I want to learn more. So one thing people definitely ask, and maybe you can start off, Susie, with explaining why is Melissa so expensive?
Well, anytime an essential oil is really costly, it's really because it might be because of the amount of oil you get from the plant itself. So the easiest way for me to remember this is we had peppermint, we grew it in our garden, and I was trying to get rid of it. It actually was spearmint, but from the mint family, and we had it in one of our previous houses. I had it in the garden and it just exploded. It was everywhere. So I got this crazy idea in my younger days that I'm going to rototill it and just get rid of it all. Well, instead I rototilled it into the garden, and my entire garden then was all spearmint. So I had to pull it literally by hand then afterwards. Silly. But when you think about that, when a plant grows like a weed, you also can get more oil from the plant. And when you have plants that maybe take a really long time to grow, it may take an entire plant to produce one drop of oil. So keep that in mind. It also may be the region. It may be how often, how much fruitage you get. I know my brother-in-law just recently, I talked to him this past week, and they have apple trees in their yard. And so he cut them all down. When you cut them all down smaller, you get a fuller harvest the following couple of years. So sometimes plant takes long to grow. It may not get as much yield from it, and Melissa is absolutely one of those oils. So that's my take on it. That's how I've always felt about plants. Also, too, you want to remember that doTerra we only produce oils that we can get the proper kind of harvest from. So when you think of it in terms of that, if we get a crop that's not a good quality, we're not going to sell it. And many of us know that Melissa was not around for almost a couple of years. So that's kind of another reason I want to focus in on it, because it's really good oil that everyone should have. And sometimes I think people are discouraged from buying it because it's an entire LRP order in one order. That fills your 100, I'm all set, and that's all you get. And you go, oh my word. But when you realize it's liquid gold, it might be something that you realize that you want to have in your arsenal per se. So some of the information that I wanted to share, I got from a couple of different books. Have you seen this one?
It's the new enrollment packet, correct?
Yes.
So when someone enrolls, that's what they get now, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So when you look in here, it's got all your information regarding every single essential oil. Modern Essentials book, another one. Somebody had just recently asked me, we're on the 9th edition of this book. The Essential Life book is the 4th edition. So those are good books to reference and look up what your oils are. I always promote that because everyone should have a book to know what the oils are good for and why we would even bother using it. But to go back to Melissa, some of the compliant information, the main benefits of this oil: calms feelings of tension and nervousness, promotes emotional well-being. It holds significant health benefits and may help support a healthy immune system. So the reason I picked Melissa is because yesterday, before the call, before we recorded, my sister commented that I said, oh, I feel like I look so tired today. And part of it is because I was traveling all day yesterday. So we are in northern Michigan. They had a snowstorm. We woke up to 3 inches and another 3 inches as we're traveling. The normal way down to Detroit Metro Airport, it is really 4 hours for us in a car, which is us going to Orlando here in Florida. But it took us 7 hours yesterday to get to the airport. Our plane boarded at 11:30 and we literally pulled up at 11 o'clock a.m. Peter dropped us off. I checked the bags. He went and dropped off the rental car. And then we headed to the airport. He literally skated in at 11:25. And that's not normal. I don't like to travel like that. It's just way too stressful. I'm texting my sister on the way down. Well, then we got up at 4. Saturday night, I stayed up till 12:30 with my kids. Last chance to see them. Oh, I'll sleep in the car. Couldn't sleep in the car because of the storm. Couldn't sleep on the plane because I was all amped up. I get home, I'm hungry. I really didn't eat much. So traveling isn't always what it's cracked up to be. I felt horrible. I'm thinking, oh my God, when I got on the plane, all these people had these masks on and they were like, because everybody's afraid of the environmental threat that's going on right now. So I'm like, oh, I got my oils, no big deal. But when I got home, I didn't feel good. And I was thinking, holy cow, am I going to get sick? So I took my On Guard, drank some oil, took my gel caps. And when I went past my every oil kit, I stood there looking at it and I'm thinking, I don't want to get sick and I don't have time for this. And I grabbed some Melissa to kind of support my immune system, but I put it on my throat. And when I put it on my throat, I did that because I wanted to just really support the endocrine system. It's also in the Melissa's in the gel caps for On Guard. And I just really wanted to get this overall sense of immune support. And that's what I did. I'm grateful I had it. I woke up this morning, went to the gym at 7 a.m. And I'm a little tired today and I probably will take a nap, but I really only had 3 hours of sleep. So that's probably why. What was your story, Dena, you wanted to share about Melissa?
Well, you mentioned that Melissa is good for easing anxiety, helps you to feel more calm, less tension. And I love Melissa for that very reason. And very interesting. I remember one time I was having lunch with a friend at a restaurant. And for me, oddly, restaurants can be a trigger sometimes when I'm going to have like a panic attack or get anxiety. And so I had accidentally left my bag of oils at home that day. So we're sitting down, we're waiting for our food, and I can feel that wave pass over me like, whoa, okay, this is about to happen. Look at my purse, no oils. Oh my goodness. So I'm like, do you have any oils on you? And she's like, I think so. I think I've got something. And she pulls out her roller of Motivate. And I'm thinking, motivate? I'm about to motivate right off this bench. Like, I don't need to get motivated. But I was desperate. I'm like, okay. So, I'm just going like this, putting it all over the back of my neck, on my wrists. And really wasn't expecting to feel that much better. But then all of a sudden, within maybe 5 minutes or so, I started to feel completely normal. The panic attack was gone. And I'm like, really, what is in Motivate anyways? Guess what? Melissa is one of the ingredients in Motivate. Yes. And I specifically remembered I had put it on the base of my skull. And so I definitely now don't leave home without my Motivate because it has been a real help for me to ease my tension. I'll stay super compliant. Mm-hmm. And for those that maybe feel like Susie expressed at the beginning of this, where it's like, wow, if I'm spending about 100 or 125 PV each month on my loyalty reward, just remember that you're accumulating those loyalty reward points. And I think that's what I used for my LRP points when I first got Melissa. And I was really glad when doTerra got it back in stock because it was one that we didn't have for a while. Mm-hmm. We, as Susie mentioned, they don't compromise in their standards of certified pure therapeutic grade. It takes a ton of the Melissa plant to even get 1 drop of essential oil. And as Susie mentioned, there is a certain time to harvest it. So you take all those things into factor. It was one that we were out of for a while. So I was so glad when doTERRA had it back in stock. Make sure you have one for your medicine cabinet at home, because you will be surprised at all the benefits of Melissa, supporting your immune system and helping you stay nice and tension-free. Over to you, Suze.
Nice. That's awesome. Thank
Dena,
you,
you look
Dena.
like a model.
I know she's got this glow
Look at
behind her, right?
Woo!